thrush gun, the scope, the night scope on the thrush gun, Bob Murdoch comes into the meeting. He has a brown sack in his hand, and he brings this thing out of the sack and says, "How's this?" And we said, "Well, what is that?" He says, "This is the bottom of a colander and a thing that he stuck on the end of it," and said, "Now, you like the shape of that? Wouldn't that make an interesting kind of night vision scope?" And everybody looked at everybody else and said, "It's a hell of an idea. Yeah, let's see if we can do something like that."
Where are they?
We can't see them, but they can see us. They're using black light emissions and special finders to pick us up.
And they said, "Well, what kind of gun are we going to put with that?" And he said, "Well, what about just an, carbine?" That ended up the thrush gun. So it was like that with all the weapons.
It's quite impressive. I wish Uncle could afford that.
The Uncle gun, the Uncle Special, was a character all by itself. Sam Rolfe, when he developed, did the development notes originally, wanted a gun.
Sam couldn't tell the front end of a gun from the back end of a gun. And when everybody asked Sam, "What's this weapon look like?" he'd point to me and said, "Talk to George." He had no idea what was going on. And I had found in Marcel and Bob Murdoch and the armor at Uncle cohabitors. I mean, we were all on the same wavelength. And out of that came the Man From U.N.C.L.E. gun.
The first version of it was modeled on the Mauser, but it wasn't attractive looking, and they decided that they needed something else.
Well, the first thing was, hey, PPK is a hot item here now. And we looked at other weapons, and the PPK said, it's not bad, but can we do with it all the things we want to do? And they said, well, what is that? And they said, well...
He wanted a formidable gun, but a gun that would be used for good.
You need a long barrel and an extra long clip.
He wanted it to be semi-automatic, and he wanted it to be automatic.
And a teletopic and a night vision, and blah, 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 and the thing keeps growing and growing, and say now, and it has to fit in an attaché case. We said, well, you're crazy.
Please give me the gun.
So the production crew got together and tried to decide how they would create this gun. Eventually, they picked up a Walther P38, and they started building the gun on the basis of that.
We had the basic Walther P38, and I've cleared this, so I know there's nothing in it. And then these things would unscrew, and the silencer would fit on like this, and then we had the stock and all this. I'm sure those people who see the show will remember all these wonderful things.
You don't carry a weapon, do you?
I'm a physician, not a bodyguard.
All right, here's an extra clip, just in case.
This is ridiculous. I don't even know how to handle this.
This is the safety. Full back, it won't fire. One notch forward, semi-automatic. One squeeze, one shot.
You have been in the enforcement section too long. You're
Forget
too
about
suspicious.
full automatic, just keep it on semi.
At one point, it turned into being fully automatic. Now, that's really a problem, because armors cannot make a weapon fully automatic. But we were trying to find out whether it's feasible. We didn't have to shoot it fully automatic, but we had to determine if we could shoot it automatic.
In order to do what they did, they had to have a whole firearms license.
At one point, there was a picture, a piece of film with the gun, and the slide is back, and all 9 rounds are in the air. That told us, hey, it's possible it would fire. And that's the reason we said, okay, we'll make the long clip, and when we shoot fully automatic on a show, we'll hear a short burst, but we'll create that sound effects-wise. We won't shoot. We can't have live roads, because it wouldn't work.
We have people who can fix that. Not this system. There are only 2 people in the world who can fix this system.
Which 2 people?
One of them is Bruno von Schlöffenkopf, that he's in Munich, Feldstrasse. The other one is me. So this equipment is no good to you unless you take me along with it. All right.
The gun started getting fan letters. When people saw it, people were fascinated by the gun. One thing you have to keep in mind with the gun is that it doesn't just shoot bullets, it shoots sleep darts. And that's a really important point. And so you didn't have to kill people, you could just put them to sleep.
You never really saw blood. People got shot and fell over. One time, a broadcast standards person called Sam Rolfe and said, well, too many people are getting killed in the show. And Sam said, well, they're not getting killed, they're just wounded. They said, well, how do we know that? He said, well, we don't know that either, but we don't have time to stop and go back and check them out.
There was dialogue added to several scripts to play lip service to that possibility.
Would you use bullets on a woman? I think not.
Not bullets, but darts tipped with a paralyzing poison. I'm told it's quite painful.
And it was a standing joke among the crew because we'd shoot all the same squibs, except after the guy just pulled off 4 rounds and say, don't worry, it's a sleep pellet.
The thing was, that got lost later on. In the first season, you'll see the sleep darts being used quite a bit. As time went on, they also started overdubbing the sound of the gun because it was so loud. They overpacked the ammunition so you could get that spark in the flash arrestor, but it was too loud.
We had, in the U.N.C.L.E. headquarters, there was a long walkway which had a cover on it. And I don't know how it worked out, but somehow the noise of the gun going off and the explosion wrecked my ear for a while. I had tinnitus.
It was 4 or 5 corridors all coming together. That's when we went from shooting bullets to shooting whatever they were, paralyzed.
They made a little sound instead of an explosive sound.
We were firing darts.
Robert Vaughn says he doesn't know sometimes when he was shooting a bullet or a sleep dart because the sound would be added later. But Norman was very insistent about the sleep darts. And he kept, and in fact, in 4th season when Tony Spinner came in, the younger producer, he insisted again. He wrote a whole memo about how the agents should use sort of passive ways to take down the bad guys and not actually kill them. So the gun was a formidable gun, but it can take people out without actually killing them.
He's coming too.
I had a couple of cops who said that the Uncle gun was a little far-fetched. And I said, of course it was. So it was a pencil communicator, so what else is new?